Hello and welcome to our Hangout. In this Hangout, Leah, Mackenzie, and I are going to be talking about some useful tools that can be used during classroom instruction. So for my first tool, it is called QR codes, and QR means quick response, and this is what a QR code looks like. It's just black and doesn't really have a certain pattern, and QR codes are generated from different websites like this, and you just put in the URL for the website in here and click create, and then you're able to download them or embed them. And the site also helps beginners by showing them which functions to use, how you can track performances, and different ways that you can use it. So QR codes are very convenient because they can be used for a lot of different ways. They can be like inside and outside of the classroom. Different ways that you can use it is by quizzing the students. You can print out the QR codes and give them to each student in your classroom. And when you ask the question, then you are able to get them to put up the either yes or no, and then you use a scanner, which you can download on your phone. And the scanner looks like this, and then you put the QR code in here, and it will show you the answer to that question. I think these are very helpful in the classroom because you save less on paper. You don't have to print out paper for exit tickets or different activities. You can also use them in stations. So if you have a QR code in a station with a tablet, then they're able to use the tablet and then scan the code, and it will take them to different activities that they can use at that station. And it's also good for checking work. So you can have a QR code for each student, and it will show performance over time. And you can get instant feedback, whether they're understanding the content or not. The disadvantages is QR codes are still very new to teachers and in the educational field, so it might take a while for teachers to understand how to use it and for students to understand how to use it. And it can take a while for the QR code scanner to scan the QR code correctly. And it also makes you dependable on mobile devices or different smartphones because you're not able to use the scanner through a computer and things like that. Anyone have any questions?
So does the QR code only work for like the certain activity? Do you have to make a new one for each activity, or can you link multiple to it?
It only works for that one activity. So you use that when you enter the link, then it will go to that certain link. So you'd have to make multiple QR codes, but then also it's very simple to make different QR codes, so it shouldn't be too time consuming.
The only problem I could see was children or the students not knowing how to do it and not figuring out how to scan it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's what I thought would be a disadvantage too. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so for my next tool, it is called CAS Science Reader, and it's involved in it's along with a different website already. So basically, the teacher signs up and the students sign up, and you are able to use it's interactive and it's web-based. So the teacher or the students go on and they can create different science reports, and they're able to, helps them understand how to create it, and it breaks it down for you. So if you take a tour, or if you click create or take a tour, it will show you how to use the site in general. But basically right here it shows that it breaks the report into different steps so the author can concentrate on one part at a time. It also helps with the writing process. It gives you options to draft revise, and edit. And it also gives students sentence starters, so it can help them think about what they're trying to say. And then there's a journal portion where they can write notes and make comments, and the teacher can look on it and make comments on how they're doing and how they should improve their report. And then there's a checklist to make sure that the students are able to get everything that they need in their science report. So this would be more for middle school, where they have a specific science classroom and they're writing a report on a different content area. The advantages of this are that it's completely free. All you have to do is sign up to be able to use it. And it's also a good source for students because it will help them understand how to use reports and how to break it down. And it's not going to be a completely new thing for them. So they're able to use it later on or anytime they need it later on in their life. One of the different disadvantages is that the children might struggle with the setup of the website and not knowing what everything is, but then they can always go to the teacher and figure out what one certain part of the report is. Any questions or comments?
I think that's a good idea. I like that it has this sentence starters, so
Yeah.
students know what to write and kind of guides them.
Yeah, I liked that too. I sometimes need help with different sentence starters and projects, so I completely understand why the students would.
I like how the teacher and the student can both get on it, and it's not just like a student thing.
Yep. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
So my tool was Cast UDL Book Builder, and it's completely free, and it can be for teachers or for students. And so if you can see that there's multiple languages you can choose, English, Spanish, or Portuguese, and you create different books. You can read ones that are already written, and it also gives tips and resources. So some of the options it gives is text to speech, so students who are English language learners or maybe special education students, they can hear what the book is saying. Students can have questions to go along with their books, so they can answer as they go along, and it puts it all in one document for a teacher. It has a spell checker option for when you're creating books, and it also has coaches. And what coaches do are they kind of act like the teacher, and it allows them to like ask questions and share background knowledge and help students engage with the book without the teacher necessarily having to be right there beside them. You can also hyperlink in the table of contents or the glossary, so students could click on a word or a page in the table of contents and it would take them right to that page, or it could also take them to a website. You can the teacher can add audio, or students can add audio if they're creating books. There are things called model books, and what they do is they let the students search different genres of books, so they can search motivational or social books. They have books on pre-reading and early reading, or historical inquiry. So students can create books or go on the website and read books about whatever their teacher assigns them. I think it's a really good tool because students can work independently and the teacher can also get feedback of how they're doing through the questions. The only con I kind of thought about was maybe if you assign it as homework, not everyone having access to it. But that would be the only con.
I like that they have different accommodations for the students, like the languages and that kind of stuff.
So this is a site that you can either create a book or there are books on the site that you can assign to them.
Yes, there are already books. Like if students make a book, they have the option to share it. So there are books that other people have shared that they can go and read.
Okay.
Okay. My tool is paper.li. I don't know how to say that. It's a tool that enables individuals to create newspapers based on topics they choose. So this is the website. You can turn socially shared content into online newspapers and newsletters. It automatically finds content on any subject, and you can quickly add them to your own content sources. And you can prioritize them and add filters that best reflects the type of content you want. And it supports sources from Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and YouTube, and just about any other content from the web. You can customize it and give your audience fresh, relevant content daily on whatever schedule you set. And you can define topics you want, language your audience speaks, so you can change the languages of it. You can promote it. You can send posts to Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, email, newsletters, add content to website or blog. To use this in the classroom, I think a pro would be it can help children learn research skills and ways to navigate web content, so they can go on and create like a project making a newspaper or newsletter. The papers are well designed, so it's easy to see, and it's opportunity to learn about source selection to make sure they choose correct sources. And it gives students an idea of how traditional journalism works, because they're basically writing a newspaper. And I think it also can be used for teachers to create like a current events page or like something that they can keep up with their students, because you can share it with a URL. So I think it could be good for the teacher to create one. The cons I see, you constantly have to watch the sources and make sure they're appropriate, because they can get on Facebook, they can get on Twitter, that kind of thing. And it doesn't seem like it's very easy to use. There's been, I read the critiques that it's hard for elementary kids to use.
It sounds like it could be hard for kids to use. I wonder about their spelling. Is there any kind of spell check or anything offered?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of it because it lets you put in a term and then gives you a lot of access, like all right there for everything about it. But it's also concerning how the students are able to go onto different websites that aren't educational.
Right.
I think it would be more useful for like the business and like your actual kind of things than in a classroom.
I could see it in maybe middle school. They
Yeah.
could use it more than elementary.
All right. Well, my next one is the CAST UDL Exchange. It's a tool that you can browse and build resource lessons and collections. You can use, hold up, let me get on here. This is the UDL Exchange. This video will tell you what it is. You can browse and build resources, lessons, and collections, and you can use and share the materials to support instruction guided by the UDL principles. It's a free account. You just create an account. And this is what it offers, the exchange tools. You can add resources and lessons to your UDL Exchange area. You can share your work with other educators or colleagues, and you can remix, which is create a copy of an item and repurpose it to fit your needs. And you can recommend the UDL items to others, and you can mark it on your favorites so you can find them quickly. You can add UDL resources, make lesson plans, and organize them into UDL collection. You can explore and discover valuable UDL materials that have been developed and recommended by other educators. You can use search terms and filter the results by purpose, grade, content area, or common core standards, so that's easy to find a lesson that you need. Like if you need a science lesson, you can just search science lessons and that'll come up. I like the remixing tool because you can take someone else's lesson and kind of tweak it and make it your own for your specific class, just to give you an idea. The UDL resources are materials such as websites, documents, images, presentations, audio, video, etc. that support the implementation of UDL. The UDL lessons are lesson plans that address the variability of all learners through the application of UDL. And the UDL collections are sets of resources / lessons organized around a theme to support UDL practices. I think this is a good tool because you can create your lessons. It's an easy template to create lessons based on the UDL, and I like that you can collaborate with teachers around the world or like in your specific school. So you could send it out to your team of teachers and they can get that same lesson plan. And there's not really any cons that I thought of because I think this is a good tool to use because you can work with other teachers and make sure the lesson plans are the best of their ability.
I like that you can share it, and you said about you can search by like the subject area, so you can see what other teachers are teaching and then kind of remake it into your own.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like this tool a lot. I think it's a really good resource for teachers, and especially new teachers who are still trying to figure out the best way to make lesson plans. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, well, I hope that you enjoyed watching our Hangout and it was informational and that you implement some of these into your classroom. Bye.